Wham! Hi there, and welcome to the Hen House with me, Henry Rounsevell. We are live in the studio today because we are joined by an extra special guest here. We have got the lovely Babs, everybody.
Hello,
Chaos,
hello.
MD, BBB,
Oh my God.
MBE, the lot, all of the letters under the sun. She's here, and we have got her on the Chaos TV sofa, so we're very happy about that. Now, we all know what we're here to talk about. For those at home that don't know, Babs is here because she has been awarded an MBE in the recent New Year's honours for all of the amazing work she does as part of the Chaos group. And firstly, huge congratulations from all of us here because we know how much you deserve it, in all honesty.
Thank you, it's lovely.
So it's very well deserved. I want to go right back to the start here with Chaos, because I know it started with 2014, was it
Yes.
formed? So how did it start? Where did you get this spark from for the Chaos group?
So we'd really started sort of the work before that with Stay at Home because there was lots of cuts in health and social care because Chaos was born out of Stay at Home really, and there was the sort of senior managers at the time, and we were always doing little bits extra, you know, and we had this opportunity in I think 2010 maybe to have an emergency accommodation house down in Camborne. So we did that, and that was for families that maybe they'd had a fire, they were, you know, homeless at the time. There wasn't very many families at that time that were. We had people shipped in from out of county, and that really gave us a good apprenticeship to see all of the complicated areas of health and social care that weren't regulated. Because if you run a domiciliary agency like we do, that's regulated care, so it's different. So that gave us a really good apprenticeship, and then we decided we knew very little about community and charitable
You
work.
hit the ground running with it, don't you?
We hit
You
the
really
ground running,
do.
and we set up Chaos, and it wasn't called Chaos to start with. It was called Emerge or some ridiculous name. Very cheesy.
Oh, Chaos has soon become very much that, I think. didn't it?
Chaos was born 2:00 one morning. Katie phoned me up and I've got it. And I'd run downstairs, you know, thinking, phone rings in the middle of the night and you think,
Oh, you
my
think what's
God,
gone wrong?
happened?
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
happened?
yeah.
And it was like Katie had been on a lovely evening, and I've got it. And I was like, "You've got what? You've got what? Chaos, CHAOS." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm half asleep, and she was like, "Community helping all society." And I was like, "Oh yes."
See, I think the best ideas really do come through to you at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Absolutely,
when Katie rings, says this is the idea that I've got. And I can't imagine it's the only time she's ever done that either.
No, and I do the same to her on occasion.
So when did you notice the need for food and food boxes and the help in that sense with the county? When did you see something had to be done?
So I think that's two questions. The first question is I've always been very environmentally friendly. My family and friends and Nathan say I'm a hoarder. However, I'm not. I'm an environmentalist.
Waste not, want not.
There is no away. When you throw something away, it has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I've brought my children up like that, and that's sort of part of me.
I think growing up in a farming community as well, in the
Everything gets
countryside,
reused.
we see where it comes from and you see where it goes as well, don't you? You get the full picture.
So when we came here in Truro, we set up a community cafe, and I straight away made links with Marks and Spencer's to say, what do you do at the end of the day? And then that sort of was the way it started. So we started collecting surplus produce. And then I think in 2015, I thought, let's have a fridge in the hallway. So let's do a community fridge. Now that was well before its time, really, because actually there's a nationwide organisation, Hubbub, who are fantastic, that set up community fridges, which really help all other organisations work all the logistics and the sort of governance side of that. But we set it up then, and we just brought the food that we used, that we didn't sell in the cafe, and we put it out there, and people could come and help themselves. So it was just an extension of what we'd always been doing.
I think it's that need for it comes when you're there saying, look, we can help with this. And I think people aren't then afraid to go, yes, I could do with that bit of help, or I could do with that.
And we used to say, people used to come into the cafe, we'd say, you know, if you can afford to, you know, to buy food, we don't want a donation. You take that if you're running late and you want something for your tea, then put some money in a charity box somewhere else. So that sort of then grew, and then it escalated quite a lot. We ended up having about 35 to 40 families come a week and pick up, and then 23rd of March went into lockdown. Bang! That was it, and that's really when it exploded.
So 23rd of March 2020. I even have to remember what year it is. It just all goes into one.
It's a blur.
2 years ago almost. That was the dreaded date.
Yeah.
You started doing the pickup and the delivery of the food boxes. So what on earth do you do first when you got this news? Where do you start?
We were really fortunate. The first 3 weeks of lockdown, everything stopped. We could mobilise because we had the skills from having stay at home. We had PPE.
Yeah.
We could mobilise safely. It was Jess, myself. Obviously Chaos TV began at that stage. We had Dolly at the time. We had Nath. There was the team that were already working. And we thought there's 6 people. We need to manage all of this. What I hadn't expected was the sheer volume from the supermarkets. So I had to make a decision. We were picking up 10, 12 hours a day, my black truck up and down, getting everything back. And we froze what we could, and we delivered some with boxes. We got a few other people in to help, but we kept it really small. And then I just thought, what we're going to do? I'm going to open the car park. So I phoned Environmental Health and I said, how do I do this? And he said, we're in a lockdown. And I said, we might be, but I got tons of food and people need it.
This is it. The need doesn't go anywhere. If anything, it probably increased.
Yeah, he was brilliant. He said, if you're adamant you're going to do it, I said, I am going to do it. So tell me how to do it safely.
Good luck trying to stop me.
So he told me to do it in a circle, measure it out. I think it was 3 meters at the time, moderate people coming in, moderate people coming out. And that's what we did.
I bet you wouldn't have even imagined that it's still going on, that we're still dealing with these restrictions in
and then
this sense.
it evolved, and then everybody started to work a little bit more, and then we went it went from there. And at the height we were feeding 750 families a week, but we were having tons and tons of food come in.
So do you think the most shocking thing from this is the amount of not waste, but this produce that would have been waste coming from these larger shops and these supermarkets?
And I think they were able to donate it to us. We were able to give it to people that were self-isolating, families that all of a sudden they were on furlough, they had bills to pay, and it was actually went to a lot of people that would normally never even have access or wouldn't even know what a food larder or a food bank is.
This is it, and I think, like I said earlier, it's those that almost, once you've come up with this solution, it's this is what I've been looking for. This is what I need. It's just that food box of those bits, fresh fruit and veg, the staples that we can provide like that.
And I think it's evolved from there. And I think in the lockdown, when we first started the TV, it was an amazing time to work. Although you go home and you're exhausted and you'd think, can I get up to bed? Because I was that tired sometimes. It was an amazing time because you met so many different people, and I know they were sort of the other end of the room. They weren't allowed in, and you were a bit more than 2 meters distance. And lots of them, I think about one lady that I met, and she'd said that she'd always had a lovely life, and she'd 6 weeks in, she cried, and she said, I can't believe I'm coming to you. And she drove a nice 3-year-old car. Yeah. She said, I got divorced 4 years ago. I own my own house. It's mortgaged. I have three daughters. We go on holiday 3 times a year. We have spas. We do, I wouldn't think anything of paying 60 quid for a handbag. And all of a sudden now, she said, I can't feed my family. And she said, I feel so ashamed. And that was the start of Food to Share. And that was probably about 5 weeks in, because until then, I'd had volunteers. And because she was so ashamed of having to have that help, she said, I just don't know what to do. And I don't know, it just comes to me. I said, where do you live? Because I'm always thinking...
You'd ask, don't you? But like I said, it then goes to show that it could happen to absolutely anybody.
So she lived at Porthtowan, and I said, oh, my golly, there's 3 families that we can't reach. Do you fancy dropping a box off? And that was how it went.
So tell me about the process then today. So we know that you've been going full force ever since then, and we see that van coming in with lots of goodies from all of the supermarkets. Obviously, Chaos Farm helps provide some of the food for the boxes as well, which is all freshly grown for them.
The fresh stuff. Yeah.
So when this surplus food all gets brought in, and we see the army of Chaos team loading up the cafe out there, what's happening next? What's then the next stage?
So we only do 2 larders now. So that, and we have now just started because the need has increased again. So we've kept up doing a few family boxes, but we've tended to try and support all the other larders, and through the Hive network and working with Treverben, Hall and everything like that, we drop off to bigger sort of people like us, and then they've got 15, 20, 30 groups that come in. So we share it out.
It's this network, isn't it?
That's how it gets. It's a bit like a spider's web. We're in the middle, and then we share it out to these, and then they share it out, and it just goes out like tentacles. It gets gone,
doesn't it?
But what we've recognised was by doing that, we didn't have quite that same connection with the end user. And actually, I love to know where it goes. I like to hear those stories. And actually, somebody comes into you and they're struggling with food. Chances are they're struggling with paying their heating bill now. they're in some sort of poverty, and then it's about how can we help them get
It's
out.
that spiral, isn't it? That spiral effect where all it takes is that one thing to trip up, and all it then takes is that one person, such as yourself, to lend that helping hand.
There's Cornwall's full of people like me. I haven't done anything special. It's just I'm in the position that I can sort of call people and the likes of that.
Oh no, you're the one to be on the other end of the phone. We know that much. Yeah, and all the luck to them as well.
Once I focus on something, that's it. The maggot bites and I'm gone.
That's your way. So you've had lots of surprises, I don't doubt. What's been sort of the biggest surprise for yourself?
Received it, but being
really, that's after all this, this has come such a surprise to you.
People like me don't get that,
People like you should get that, though.
Well, yeah, and people say that, but I would never have dared to dream. Would never have dared to dream that I would be an MBE. It's massive. It's
you
massive.
are, absolutely.
Left school at 15, a hell of a bloody rebel. I've had egg on my face more than anything else, I can't spell for toffees. My best was a C or D in art. That was my only qualification.
But look at you, though. This is the thing. And it's the help you're giving.
If you give me more than 3 noughts, I couldn't tell you whether you're telling me £10 and £500 or what the hell it is.
I don't believe. But again, it's what makes you. And you're in the situation you're in, and you've done what you do with it. This is the thing. And you've worked on it in that sense. And it is very well earned.
I think my granny always used to say, you're never going to be top of the class, so know what you do well and do that to your best of your ability. And that has been fundamental to me growing up. And I look at things, I think, I can't do that. But I think I can do this, and I can do this to the best of my ability.
And this is the thing, I think if you take on that task or that challenge in your own way, you find your own way around it in that sense. You play to your strengths, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm quite creative, and if you say no to me, that's like red rag to a bull.
That's it. Oh no, I dare not say no to you. So you've been, like I say, quite rightly recognised, and for this MBE, what's next for you? Because I would say that there's no stopping you now, but in all honesty, there never was any stopping you.
So I think I feel really, really privileged and very, very honoured, and I think in my head, that is for there are hundreds of people like me in Cornwall, honestly, and I'm taking that for them. I think it is amazing. I'm only scratching the surface as to some of the people now. Even already, I've had people that I've probably tried to connect with and have never connected, and they've sent me congratulations, and I'm like, ooh.
I'm in there now. That's it. Yeah, now you know who you're talking to. Yes,
which has made me think, wow, So and one of the other things that's really overwhelmed me is the amount of public support. Literally, I was like a blithering idiot. The first interview I gave, I didn't know what to say. I'm never speechless.
No.
And I just, because I was like, oh my golly, I've got so much support. Never knew it. And that has been amazing. So now I think I've got a lovely tribe that I'm there representing, and I want people to connect with me really, and say, how can you help us do this? Because I'll either say yes I can, or I'll know somebody else, or
this is it, like you say, it's that network,
I want to use
isn't
it for good, really.
So how do you get a call? How do they tell you you've got an MBE? Did the man come to your house on a horse and a scroll, or I really don't know how it works. And they'll waking you up at the crack of dawn.
I got an email, and I wasn't sure that it wouldn't scam to start with.
Straight in the junk mail. You thought that's spam.
No, it was like, I'm not sure. You just
second guess yourself.
And I'm always so busy, so I scan my emails. So it was 2 or 3 days before I really got and had a look at it. And then I did speak to Nathan, and then I had this fella phone me, and then when he phoned me, I'm like, well, how do I know you are who you say?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was terrified. Once I knew, I was afraid to think about it, because I thought, if I've got this wrong, I know that this will be devastating. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't mean that much, especially when I didn't really know what it meant. But I just knew that it made. I thought of my gran, and I thought it brought lots of things up that made me incredibly proud.
Oh, it's very validating, I imagine, isn't it? After everything you've done.
Yeah, and I think that I just didn't want. I told David, and that was it. And I was like, until somebody from the press speak to me, I won't know it's really real.
No.
And then I couldn't stop squeaking. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing.
I don't believe it.
I couldn't. Literally, when they interviewed, that's why they didn't put it on TV. I was like, she said, "What do you do?" I was
squeaking.
No, I couldn't help it, because I can't. I try to be very professional. I try to be very proper. But then something will happen, and I'll either be in fits of laughter, or I can't.
Do you think it'll ever sink in though? Do Do you honestly? Do you think? Oh, next year you'll be adding on more
I
letters
think
to the
if I
end
go to
of your name.
Buckingham Palace, oh my God, I'll have to be pinching myself.
I'll be going with you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Oh my
much. I'll be
God,
having an invite.
I'm
I'll be
gonna
well away.
I'm going to be sending everybody selfies, but then I'm not because that's not, like I'm not. Yeah, I am going to be.
No,
all my
too right.
people,
That'll be all over
I
our
am going to
socials. We're
be.
putting you up in Buckingham
But,
Palace.
yeah, but oh my
So
God.
what doors does it open having an MBE? Obviously, you've said that you've had people contact you now that you struggled to get in touch with in the past.
I don't know, but I think I'm going to use it to open all the doors that I need to help Cornwall's youth, to help the environment for Cornwall, to really do some of those things that I'd love to get more involved with, and that is changing culture here in Cornwall. We need to be listening to the people that we're looking after. We need more people. You've got this inequality.
Yeah.
You've got, on one hand, you've got these beautiful villages, with these amazing views. You can't eat a view.
No, too
and
right.
then in other areas, you've got high deprivation. You've got, when you hear that there's, 8, 10 men in the world or people in the world that have got half of the whole world's wealth. Totally wrong.
Yeah.
Totally wrong. And I think I'd like to see, when you say about levelling up, in Cornwall at the moment, you've got spaceport going up.
Yeah.
You've got geothermal going down.
Yes.
You've got Eden, that is the village hall for Cornwall, which is absolutely amazing, and their change of the way that they're including people. And then you've got...
We've had the G7.
G7, all of those sort of things. But I think, people still don't realise the pockets of deprivation. And I think my main aim is to help people get out of poverty and to change that thinking, because if there's wealth in Cornwall, we need to share it. We need to share it across the lot,
I think there is,
and make
like you
sure
say,
everybody benefits.
That wealth is there, and Cornwall is more than a sunbed
Yeah.
and a bag of chips by the
Yeah.
sea, as much as we all love a sunbed and bag of chips by the sea. Like you say, there are these huge industries as part of Cornwall, and their careers, in these industries that people don't realise.
I mean, from St Maur's, you have those that have, and you have those that have not.
Yeah,
and I think
absolutely.
we need to have a few less that have, and hundreds more.
Share
the
it
other way
out. Like you
round.
say, share it
the
out.
other way
Absolutely,
round.
time to divvy it all out like that, isn't it?
Yeah, and I
like
think
you say, you can't eat a view.
No.
And down here in Cornwall, but then you've got people like you spearheading us. And getting these things done, because you've got people like me that are quite happy to sit here and chat about it. You're the ones getting it done, though.
Well, I see you emptying the van time enough.
Yeah, I'm in there looking for any treats. Yeah, exactly. I'm in
You
there.
were fresh meat when you first came. I wear everybody out with the van.
Yeah, I know now. If I hear that door going, Babs is coming, and I heard that van pull up, I'm right. I'm on a Teams call. Sorry, everyone. I'm ever so sorry. Bit busy right now.
Oh dear, I know.
But again, I think that goes to show exactly
Everybody
like what we
works
like
with
here
it.
is you think if it's helping in one way, shape or form, we'll all get involved quite happily.
Well, I had
knowing-
Alex up a ladder today trying to find some bags for our homeless.
Yeah, well, but this is it. And
I
a lot of the time, if it's Babs asking you to do something, it's for the right reason and it's for the right people, and that's what I like. I sort of say to myself, right, she knows what's good for me, so let's crack on with it like that.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do any of it without the team that I got. I mean, everybody's so supportive.
I think having us here in Chaos HQ as such, like you say, it is that family of us all here, isn't it?
Yeah,
but then
it is.
we all love to see you doing such brilliant things as well.
Oh, that's lovely to see. But I'm very fortunate to be able to do it, aren't I?
Yeah.
I don't have to stay at my computer all day to earn me money.
I don't know if I've ever known you stay at your computer all day
like to.
at all.
I'd like to do that one day, just to catch up on my hundreds of emails.
What doors does this open? You're going to sit at your desk and do a day's worth of emails. Finally get round to it. So we all know here at Chaos Central that we've made it to the new year. And is there anything? What do you think this year? What's coming up this year for Cornwall and for Chaos? What's on the cards?
I would really like Chaos to be a main player in representing third sector, all those small charities, all those small groups, the faith groups. We work really closely with Pride. We're now going to start to work with Cornwall Community Foundation. Hopefully, we've got an amazing relationship with Radio Cornwall. I would like Chaos to be central to that network media web, that we can do what you were saying, bring everybody together. We can shine the light on all of these other amazing people. I say Cornwall's full of people like me. It really is.
Yeah.
And I would like 2022 for
All about
Chaos
those
to
people.
shine the light on all of those people, all of those Chaos MBEs,
Well,
whatever you want to call
I
them.
can say now that you can be ticked off the list because we've got a shining light on you now with Babs and your MBE. So thank you very much for coming in and having a chat with me. I know I didn't have to drag you in by your ear. It's just a little chat with me.
Yeah, I know.
Just come on for a little chat.
I don't even feel I'm on the TV now, so it's all right. I'm quite comfortable.
No, well, yeah, don't get too comfortable. So take your shoes off, get your feet up, you'll be fine. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking with me today. I can't imagine how busy you are. And if anybody would like more information on Chaos, what we do here, the great work Babs does and the team, do head to chaosgroupcornwall.co.uk, or you can be sure to find us all on our socials. But for now, that's goodbye from me and our live rendition of the Hen House, and goodbye from Babs, MBE, Babs Rounsevell, everybody. Live studio applause. Back to you over in the radio studio there, Punch.